Hey everybody, it's Morphin Time with the ATRed Ranger, and today I'm bringing you guys Dark World. Dark World is an archetype of mostly Dark Fiend type monsters that was introduced to us in Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. They get their effects from being discarded from the hand to the graveyard by a card effect. Starting off, we got Grapha. This is the boss monster. 2700 attack, 1800 defense. He says that when he's discarded from your hand by a card effect, he can destroy up to one card your opponent controls. And if that card effect was your opponent's, he can look at one card in your opponent's hand, and if it's a monster card, he can special summon it to your side of the field. He also has the added bonus that when he's in the graveyard and you have a Dark World monster on the field, you can return one Dark World monster on your side of the field to your hand and special summon Grapha, Lord of Dark World, from the graveyard. He's amazing. Next, I only run one Silva. Silva says that if he's discarded to the graveyard by a card effect, special summon it. So he's a free special summon. All you gotta do is discard him. So he's free fodder for Grapha. He's a 2300 beat sticks. He's amazing. And then if he's discarded by your opponent's effect, your opponent has to return two cards from their hand to the bottom of the deck. That's great. And then we have Gold. Only one. He says that if he's discarded, he can be special summoned, a free bounce for Grapha. And then if he's special summoned by your opponent's card effect, you can destroy two cards your opponent controls. Snow is the searcher of the deck. When he's discarded, you can add one Dark World card from your deck to your hand. Unfortunately, you cannot go grab Dark Smog, which sucks. But he also has the effect that if he's discarded by your opponent's card effect, you can special summon one monster from their graveyard and face up defense position. Beige. He's a really free special summon. That's all he does. He special summons himself. But the reason why I run two of him instead of like one like Silver and Gold is because that he's a normal summon. So say I can't normal summon Gold, I can't normal summon Silver, I can't normal summon Gold to get Grapha, but I can normal summon Beige, which is great. The last Dark World monster that I use is Bro. When he's discarded, I can draw a card. And if he's discarded by opponent's effect, I draw another card. So that's great. I mean, I discarded him, I draw a card. He's a free 1-for-1, basically. And if my opponent does it, I +1. Tech cards for Dark World. Trance Archfiend. Trance Archfiend says that I can discard a monster from my hand. He gains 500 attack points. And then when he's destroyed, I can get one of my banished monsters, one of my dark monsters, and add that to my hand, which is great. I also run two Tour Gods, basically just for Levier. Levier says that, you know, I can go get a level 4 lower banished monster and special summon it to my side of the field, which is great because I do a lot of banishing with my field spell card, Gates of Dark World. All of my Fiend type monsters gain 300 attack and defense, and I can banish one Fiend type monster from my graveyard, discard one Fiend type monster, then draw a card. It's really great. I feel like this is probably one of the better field spells that have been printed. It's really good. I also run 3 Dark World dealings. Me and my opponent draw a card, then discard a card. Opponents hate that. Then I have Drag Down. Drag Down says that we both look at each other's hands, choose one card, discard it, and then we draw a card. Everybody hates having their hand looked at. The opponents don't want us to know what we want to do. We like to have information. That's what Dark World does. We need information to see what they're going to do and how they're going to stop us, and we don't want that happening. So we get their key cards out of their hand before they can even play them. Upstart Goblin is a really good card. It draws, gives them 1,000 points. Who cares? We're going to beat it out of them anyway. Mystical Space Typhoon. We like to get rid of their D-Prisons, Macrocosmos, D-Fissure, anything that's going to hurt us in the long run. We need to get those out of the way. So we have a lot of cards that can destroy back row. Back row is really detrimental to us, especially like Mind Drain, Soul Drain, stuff like that. It's really bad. On for the traps, I only run 10 traps and 2 Mind Crush. A lot of people like to run 3 Mind Crush, 3 Drag Down. I feel like that's just a little too much. I don't want to see them that often, but when I do, I want to make the most of it. Mind Crush says that I can declare one card name. If that card is in my opponent's hand, I can discard it and all copies of it. So if they have 2 of any card in their hand and I name one of them, they both go to the graveyard. And if I guess wrong, I discard. So it doesn't even matter to me, because if I don't have any of my other discard engines, Mind Crush is great. Usually I just say Mind Crush Karibo if I don't have anything, just to get a free discard. And if I know they have something in their hands because of drag down or something else, then I get rid of that. There's really no losing with Mind Crush. I run one deck devastation virus. I can tribute one dark monster with 2,000 or more attack, which is basically Grapha, Gold, Silver, or even Trance Archfiend if I discarded a card and I have gates on the field. And then for 3 turns, they have to destroy all monsters with 1,500 or less attack in their hands. And I basically get to look at their hand, so I can look at their hand, Mind Crush, all types of stuff. Torrential Tribute, just in case their field is getting a little too big and I can't stop it at the moment, Torrential Tribute is a great card to have in backup. Eradicator Epidemic Virus. So after I've looked at their hand, I see, hey, you guys have so many trap cards, you guys have so many spell cards, I can tribute one dark monster with 2,500 attack or more, which is basically Grapha, or with gates on the field, it's gold and silver. And for the next 3 turns, I either call Spell the Traps, and for the next 3 turns, they have to get rid of all of their traps, and I get to see their hand. So not only am I getting to see what they draw, if it's one of those, if it's a spell or a trap, whichever I call, it goes automatically to the graveyard. So if they're waiting for, a dark hole or something like that, then I call traps. If they are playing a whole bunch of trap cards like D-Prison and all types of stuff, just anything I need them to get rid of, anything crucial that I know could mess up my whole day, I get rid of it. Dark Smog. Dark Smog says that once per turn, I can target one monster in my opponent's graveyard and discard a fiend type monster and banish it. That's great. So things like Fire Kings with the Garunix, if the Garunix wants to come out the grave, I can activate Dark Smog, discard a card, banish Garunix. No more Garunix shenanigans. It's great. Dark Smog is a really great card. Nobody likes having their field banished. Not their field, their graveyard. Nobody likes having their graveyard banished. And in the mirror match, Dark Smog is nutty. I guess it's the first person to get rid of all 3 Graphas wins. Skill Drain is basically the backbone of the deck, I guess. It's basically there to say, hey, I don't want you guys playing at all. Like, it doesn't want your opponent to have any of its effects. Skill Drain says that I pay 1,000 life points and I negate all monster effects on the field. That's great. But Skill Drain doesn't stop tributing itself like Card D and stuff like that. But Skill Drain is still great. It stops bears. It stops a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff going on right now, especially Exceed monsters. This stops all of that shenanigans. None of that. We don't want any of it. And Solemn Warning, really great. I love it at 1. Stop something that if I can't blow it up, I can stop the summon right off the bat. It's really great. Now, honestly, I hardly ever use my extra deck. I just rarely use it. Most of the time, I just sit back on Grapha. He's the only monster on my field, and that's that. But for kicks and giggles, I do have an extra deck. I have Zen Mains. Levier does my Tour Guide combo. I can basically go activate gates, Levier, bring something back, bounce it up for Grapha. I do a lot of silly plays. I'll show you guys later. It's really fun. Leviathan Dragon, Evil Swarm Nightmare. Basically, if it's too big for me to attack head on, I try and get it into defense mode if I know that they're doing something where they special summon a lot. Cowboy, just for that final push. Abyss Dweller, Maestro, 101, of course 101. If I can't beat it, I'll take it. Popular Imperative. People say Popular Operative, but I really don't like that. I say Popular Imperative. I know I'm probably wrong, but it just sounds better to me. Utopia Ray, Pearl to get over Fiendish Chains if I know they have them and they set them before I could get to them. Felgrand, Thunder End Dragon, and the Sun Dragon, Overlord of Heliopolis. Dark World is such a great deck. People will hate you if you play it. I get a lot of flack for playing Dark World, but it's honestly my favorite deck. I really love it. I'll see you guys later. See you guys next time. Hopefully, like, comment, subscribe. Thanks.